If you like recruiting news that includes offensive line commitments that are 6'7" and over 330 pounds, you might find that you like this video. In that case, we'd appreciate if you actually hit the thumbs up, tap it, click it, whatever device you're using, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Michael Langston back from a long day over at the Moore Center on Tuesday afternoon, but a fulfilling day for you, Michael. Big news, huh? Literally and figuratively.
Jazston Turnetine committed to FSU. You kind of felt this was trending that direction when with everything they're doing. His dad was over there. I think his uncle was also with him yesterday, and then today he texted me like, "Hey, I'm still at FSU. I'm here." So and he told me, "Hey, the decision's going to come down like, or I'm committing like in a few minutes," and literally the moment I put that post up, he committed like a minute later. So it was pretty fast. They got all the stuff academically straightened out, and it sounds like they got another guy that's going to help with their depth. Certainly, 6'7", over 300 pounds, can play the offensive tackle position. It has experience. I mean, I realize like his PFF grades aren't always up to par, but when you get strong in experience in there of a guy that can help you and help your depth, I think certainly FSU was attracted to that, and I think they want to get it done, and I think that's it. But I think a guy at different things, you watch him, the length he has, the range he has as far as with his arm length and the stuff he gets as far as the pass protection. You could see why there was attraction with FSU. As we mentioned last week, FSU, when he was over at the camp, they worked him out. They felt good about what they saw, and they felt like this is definitely going to be uh, definitely worth the pursuit. So we just didn't know if it was going to be a PWO or regular ship. I get the impression regular ship, but either way, it was an important addition to really solidify, your offensive line. You having Dimitri Emmanuel in there from Charlotte that they got earlier, and then now getting Jazston, I think it's a big deal.
All right. So, was anybody else in the mix for this recruit? Who, again, it's spent 2 seasons after JUCO at South Carolina in the SEC, had started 10 games at tackle. Was anybody else in the mix that Florida State beat him out for?
I mean, I think there was some teams. I think Michigan State was the team that he mentions mostly. I think there was some conversations with them, but I don't think there was like the feeling that hey, we could get this guy because I think it seemed like from the start, FSU was kind of the preferred next destination for Jazz, and we kind of get that feeling when he showed up at an FSU camp. Just one day just popped in. He was actually there just to watch Atkins, and it just felt like the whole process that hey man, I want to be at FSU. It's kind of like I want to be coached by Alex Atkins. I like what this team is. I like how I would fit into it, and I think it just fits me of what I'm looking for in a program. So I think there was competition, but I think it was definitely a preference that FSU was where he wanted to be, and we certainly know. I think he knows kind of what we've seen already that Alex does a really good job of developing guys in short time already. His development is certainly very good, and I think the two connected, and I think that was kind of the preference from the start.
I did flash up the PFF grades. You mentioned them as well, Michael. So, how should fans, I guess, kind of digest this news? I know whenever there's a new guy, I mean, no matter what, I got his bio up here. So anytime you read a guy's bio, you're just like, oh wow, man, like there's some real, some real true potential here. I don't know if we think he's going to be competing for the Jacobs Trophy for blocking in the conference, but just, I mean, I guess at the very least, that's just a very large body that at least gives you, I don't know, just at worst depth and then some scout team looks at worst, which yeah, you could use that, right?
Yeah, I think if you watch his film, he flashes at you. There's certain things that you see a play and like, hey, that was really good. Then you see plays that are kind of like, hey, that wasn't so good. But I think the main way FSU approaches is like we feel like this guy could be in our 1-2 deep. I think that's really kind of the way they look at it. We think no, do I think he's a starter? No, but I think he's a very suitable two if you need to go to a two. And I think they needed depth across the board, and they needed a tackle. And they got this guy, and he brings experience. I mean, I think 8 or 9 games he's been in. So, I mean, you cannot experience this as long as there's productivity and value. You can't substitute that experience that FSU will get with this kid. And two, we've seen what Atkins does with development. And, certainly, there might be things that his previous stop just wasn't there, whereas FSU can bring it out of. And there's something about him that they certainly attract him. I mean, they take it very seriously about how they value and go after each guy. So there's clearly something when they worked him out that, hey, we feel like this guy is worth the pursuit, and we feel like this guy can certainly help our offensive line overall as a group. Not so much, I think the way the fans look at it is like, okay, can this guy start? Can this guy be a better starter than the starters we have? I think sometimes you need guys that really just fit what you do, and you can bring out the skill level. And how good he's going to be, it really depends on how the coaching's received, how much the development's there, and um, just what you get out of it. But certainly, I don't think it's any kind of bad move, because it's like we're talking about a 1 year thing. We're talking about a 1 year uh, where you can work with this guy. He's going to help with your development. It's really not a major risk as far as going 1 year with a guy that you work out and you feel like, hey, this guy can help us. That's really the bottom line.
He, I think, said on May 3rd, he tweeted, I have 1 year left. I'm not coming back to the SEC to sit a year. I want to go somewhere to play now. That obviously because of the rules in the SEC in terms of when you enter the portal and if you can go within another program. May 3rd, we sit here now, June 21st. What do you think was there a lot of due diligence? Obviously, you use that term a lot when it comes to Florida State recruiting. And the film that you're looking at right now is from his time at Hutchinson Community College in Kansas.
Right.
Why do you think that the timeline was so long on this kid figuring out where he wanted to go and ultimately committing now?
Well, I think the time frame why it took so long was really just FSU situation, FSU feeling out the grade stuff, like making sure, okay, is this feasible that you're going to get this stuff done, and then two, is can this guy play here? Can this guy help us if I put him if you're in the 1-2 deep? Can he help us and be productive and certainly give us the depth that we're looking for? Whether somebody gets hurt or what I can develop him into in a year. So I think that's what they saw. I think it took a little longer just because of the academic situation. I think most of it was the academic stuff. It wasn't so much, hey, I think if there wasn't an academic thing, I think it probably would have been done much earlier. But at the same time, you're also figuring out your numbers, making sure they match up. So this is feasible to get done, and I think that was another thing that they were kind of finalizing and making sure. So, but I think most of it was the academics. I think it would have sped up a little bit more if that wasn't kind of a thing that was lingering.
Gotcha. All right, well then you got it there, folks. He's originally from Ellenwood, Georgia, Stockbridge High School, went to Hutchinson Community College, and then spent 2 seasons in Columbia, South Carolina. Jazston Turnetine, 6'7", 335. His first year in Columbia, he did appear in 6 games, made 3 starts. Last season appeared in 11 games and made 7 starts. All of those 10 starts were at left tackle. So definitely a guy that's been thrown in the fire in the SEC. And, again, another option for Mike Norvell, Alex Atkins to tinker around with on their offensive line as they try to figure this thing out in 2022. Michael, thanks for hanging out at the Moore all day and getting us this information. We appreciate it, man.
You got it, man. Certainly it was a busy day, but we're going to have a lot of stuff coming up. Last camp is on Wednesday, so a lot of stuff going on. Hopefully Mother Nature doesn't beat the hell out of us and, kind of is friendly to us. But, we'll have some more stuff in the big man camp. And then certainly a 7-on-7 coming up on Warchant. So you guys stay tuned.
So we record and sign off here. My weather app on my phone says that Wednesday, the high in Tallahassee would be 102 degrees Fahrenheit. So buckle up, everybody. Hit the thumbs up for Michael's sake, at least. Thanks, everybody. Stay connected to Warchant.